didn't throw anything out. I don't litter.
Okay, well I just saw when I was behind you back on River Road you...
Well, I didn't throw anything out, and I am very curious about why my camera's not working. Oh, yeah, it is working. Cool.
Do you have your ID, sir?
No, I don't. I'm on my way to the hospital right now.
And I'm letting you know I'm recording for your information of mine.
I have my ride. I'm meeting here right now to take me to the hospital.
You're on your way to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. You have an emergency or are you going to a...
Well, I'm going to see...
Hey, it's none of his business. Don't answer his questions.
Whether there's an emergency or an appointment, that's pertinent as to whether...
Oh, an emergency... What? An emergency.
Okay.
Did you see any emergency when you pulled me over?
I saw the seatbelt violation.
Well, I see you have your emergency procedures engaged, correct?
Yeah.
There is no emergency.
Yeah, the vehicle's being pulled over for a seatbelt violation.
Well, you saw that he has it on.
Your last name?
No, you don't.
He's being stopped for a traffic violation. If he refuses to give me his name, information, he can go to jail.
Do we have a right to remain silent? Exercise your right to remain silent.
The only thing that he has to give his name. And,
his name's Steve. And if we're being arrested, we will provide you with the information you're requesting.
You're being detained for a traffic violation. He's being detained for a traffic violation.
But I don't have a traffic violation.
The seatbelt was hanging loosely.
Well,
it wasn't on properly, and it's a simple violation. But you're turning it into something much more.
Sir, no, sir, I'm not. I'm a peaceful man. Don't answer his questions. Don't give him your ID. Give it to him. Go ahead. Roll your window down by 2 inches.
So, can I get your last name, please?
Yes, sir.
What's your last name?
He doesn't have a last name. He has a family name. Give him your family name.
Zanelli.
And I hope you can make the distinction between a family name and a last name.
You said Zanelli?
Yes, sir.
How's that spelled?
Z-A-N-I-L-L-I.
I-L-L-I. What's your first name?
Stephen.
Stephen, is that with a V or P-H?
It's his given name. He doesn't have a first name or a last name. He has a given name and a family name. He's a human being.
How is Stephen spelled, sir?
With a V.
With a V.
Sir, I'm on the way. I haven't had my medications for over 2 weeks.
Okay, well, if we could just hurry up and get this over, we can get out of here.
Okay.
Do you have a middle name?
It's Mike.
Mike.
Okay. You can see there's no violation because it was just a fault in the defect in, in the seatbelt.
No, the seatbelt wasn't defective. You just didn't have it up snug.
Well,
you just didn't have it up properly. Do you have a date of birth, sir?
Do you have proof of consent? Do you have proof of his consent to any of this?
He doesn't have to consent right now. He's being detained. Do you have a date of birth, sir?
12/11/54.
12/11/54. Thank you.
I'm Canadian.
Calm and peaceful.
Sir, driver.
I'm not a driver.
You're required to pull over to the right, but you kept driving.
I wanted to come to a safe place where I felt comfortable. I have a right. Excuse me?
You're required to pull over to the right and come to immediate stop, and there's an emergency vehicle behind you, okay?
Did you witness an emergency?
No, when there's an emergency vehicle behind you, when your vehicle's being pulled over, or if there's an ambulance or fire truck behind you,
I would have gladly pulled over.
You need to pull over to the right and come to a complete stop. That's what you're required to do.
Well, I felt that I believe we have a right to pull over where we feel comfortable.
Well, that's not what the law says.
Well, the law says no harm, no loss, no crime. I don't know what law you're talking about. I'm talking about the common law. I think what you're calling law is a statute, and you should make that distinction because I believe common law applies to human beings. Correct. You're talking about a commercial. You're talking about something totally different than a human being.
I'm talking about the Oregon Vehicle Code.
Yes, which applies to those who consent. Consent is required.
Excuse me, sir.
It applies to people driving on the roadway.
Excuse me, sir.
It applies to people traveling.
Seatbelt. You can see I've fixed the problem. Okay. I really need to get my medication. I've been.
I would love to help you. Hurry up and get on out of here, but he's being unfair.
What's your name? Do you have a business card? And I want you to know, I mean no disrespect whatsoever.
Well, you're not being disrespectful. You're just being difficult with the situation.
Well, I think that people should have a right to exist free and peacefully. I believe strongly in no harm, no loss, no crime. I have the highest respect for the law. But I also make a distinction between legislated statutes and common law.
I'm not being uncooperative. I'm trying to get to the doctors. I need my medications.
What's the name on the license plate here? Is there registration or insurance for the truck?
The truck belongs to a car dealer. The truck belongs to a car dealer.
Well, sir, you as a driver right now.
I'm not a driver, and I would respect you to. I would appreciate you.
And you failed to yield to the emergency vehicle. You're supposed to pull over to the right and come to complete stop, and you failed to do that.
Well, you failed to witness an emergency. You engaged your emergency procedures with no. And another thing. I do believe that in the state of Oregon, you are required to be. You can't drive around in an unmarked vehicle and act as if you're in uniform. And I'll need a business card, and I would like to see your supervisor, please, immediately.
Here's my business card.
I'll need your supervisor here, please. Thank you.
Well, driver, I do need to see your license, insurance, and registration because you failed to yield your emergency vehicle properly.
I'm not driving. I am exercising my right to travel.
You were driving a vehicle. You failed to yield to an emergency vehicle.
Have you ever looked up the word driver in the dictionary, sir?
You were operating this vehicle.
Do you know the definition of the word driver?
I'm going to get into a little...
You don't believe that's relevant, what a word means?
Driver, operator of a vehicle.
You know what? If you would take the time to do a little research and look it up, a driver is a commercial term. It means you're engaging in commerce.
The gentleman needs to get his medication.
Exactly. He's not paying me. I'm a friend who volunteered to help him.
And you committed a traffic violation.
No, you did. You pulled me over with no reasonable suspicion of any crime. You pulled me over with no reasonable suspicion.
I stopped, initially activated my lights because of the passenger.
Yes, you engaged your emergency procedures.
Because of traffic violation.
Which is
committed a traffic violation by not yielding to an emergency vehicle.
I felt I would pull over where I felt comfortable. I believe I have that right.
I couldn't hear you with the truck over here.
I believe I have a right to pull over where I feel comfortable.
That's not what the law
I did not feel comfortable.
That's not what Oregon statutes say.
Oh, and those statutes. Are you a member of the Law Society? Are you a member of the Law Society, sir? Are you a member of the Law Society?
No.
Then you're not even acting lawfully. You're in violation of the Constitution.
No.
Do you have to... Are you a sheriff?
Law Society.
Sir, I sure wish you would not wish to do this any further, because I assure you I am well aware of my rights, and it will be a learning opportunity for both of us. Like I said, I'm not trying to get over on anybody. I'm a peaceful man. I have the greatest respect for the law. But when I see legislated rules applied to human beings who have not, there's no proof I have consented to your legislation at all. It's only...
When you're committing a safety violation, that affects everybody. When you don't pull over to the emergency vehicle...
I hope this will be an experience where you will learn to make a distinction between a human being exercising his right to travel freely. Does the right to travel freely still exist in this country? Are we still operating under law, or has legislated rules become the control? I'm done talking, excuse me.
Sir, I think my right is here. Am I free to go?
Well, no, because you guys aren't cooperative. Your name you gave me is it doesn't exist.
I'm from Canada, sir. I'm from Canada. Check the I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian, yes.
Okay. Do you have any Oregon ID at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. What province?
I'm out of British Columbia.
British Columbia?
But I'm telling you, I am so sick, you're going to have to call an ambulance here in a minute.
Well, if we need to call an ambulance, we have to do that. But
it's not an emergency.
The vehicle's committed a traffic violation, and he's being uncooperative now.
How am I being uncooperative?
You're supposed to give me your license, insurance, and registration, because you did not...
I don't have a license.
Okay. Do you have any ID?
I would be glad to provide you with whatever details I could, but as far as I have not applied for a state ID.
Sir? Fuck. God damn it. Where is she at?
You should not tell them lies. It will not help us in the least. The only way to solve the problem is by being truthful. You should not give them false information. Ever. All I will give them is the truth. I like living by the truth.
Be here already.
Well, she probably won't pull up. Oh yeah, they're all gonna show up.
11:22. God damn it. I gotta go, Gerald.
Well, you gotta go. How are you gonna get your walker out?
I'll just reach back there and take it out.
Well, you can't go until he tells you you're free to go.
Come on, buddy.
That's the end of Irving. That's the end of Irving. That's right at 99. That's where it's at.
Whose is it?
Probably Jack's.
Do you want me to keep it?
I'm not concerned about it in the least. But yeah, you probably should. Well, you might be going to jail for giving false information to a police officer. Which he'll claim he was investigating. See, a seatbelt infraction is not even an arrestable offense. But what they're going to do is they'll convert it into a crime. That's how they're pretty slick.